Okay, we are going. I may do a quick toilet break before we start. And I'm going to go do a roll call to see if anyone wants to join me on the stream. Just waiting for Twitch to confirm that we're good. And we are good. Awesome. That means that I need to go make an announcement. Actually, I'll go to the loo first, then I'll make the announcement. Okay, yeah, so we'll set it to this for a bit. Let's go. Okay, we are back. Okay. So today, what we are going to be doing is largely, let me go to monitor, a lot of cleanup, because there's a lot of crap that needs fixing here. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of my glosses into a separate folder called glosses. Okay, so I need to find all the glosses I've done, which are going to be in grammar, mostly. I assume. Yep. So we've got one here. This here is going to be a new folder. This will be gloss. What is this? This is the they gave some flatbread to them. So what is this an example? This is a valency example. Okay, you know what? Let's remove this for now. Let's remove any examples in the language right now. We'll just remove all our glosses because there's a lot of stuff that I need to rework, which is going to mean I'd have to rewrite a lot of these anyway. Okay, and then the only other one is going to be in the challenges section, which is this monstrosity. Okay. Let me get the stream chat up, actually on my other monitor, because I can assume that the health is going to be decent. Oh boy, can I get a view of this, please, Twitch? There we go. That's what I want to see. Okay, so cleanup. First of all, in the grammar section, at the moment are... where am I looking? Our semantic roles system makes absolutely zero sense. Okay, so let's actually talk about this a little bit. Valency, ditransitive. So ditransitive has either there's a bunch of alignments, but basically you either do okay, so we have this this standard idea of you have a subject, and then beneath that subject you have an agent and a patient. And in fact, let me grab my copy of Describing Morphism Text, because this probably explains it a lot better if I just read from there. I'm going to hop into that thing, which means Sasha can join me if he chooses to. In fact, if anyone is interested in joining the voice comms of the stream, you are more than welcome to. Just send me a message on Discord. Okay, so what am I looking at? I am looking for constituent order typology for, I'm guessing, page like 86 then. Page 86. Yeah, okay. Verb, object, object, verb. Right, yeah. So we have this idea of, we've got the subject, which is the most agent-like argument of a transitive clause. The subject, which is the only argument of an intransitive clause. The agent, which is the most agent-like argument of a transitive clause. And we have a patient, which is the most patient-like argument of a transitive clause. We get to confuse it a lot by adding ditransitivity, which is the same thing as trivalency. Describing morphosyntax talks about it in terms of transitivity. I prefer talking about it in terms of valency, because I think having something be monovalent, one argument, makes more sense than it being intransitive, because then you have to add words for verbs that don't take any arguments. And the reason I want to go back over this is because the valency system of my language has a fundamental issue to do with meeting the naturalism requirement of this that someone pointed out to me. But not only that, it also just needs a bit of cleanup, because I want to use it a lot more. Because I would quite like to use it for constructing comparatives, which was something I discussed with Klaus the other day. And I think I've come up with a really nice solution for doing comparatives with verbs, where I use Chinese-style adjectival verbs, but where they have a divalent or trivalent forms that are used for making comparisons. So down here we have a section talking about the alignment, which is to do with how you treat things. So in these languages, you see two common structures. Either the subject behaves like the patient of a sentence, and an agent gets a special thing, which is called ergative. The subject behaves like a patient and the agent gets something special, which is called ergative, or the subject and the agent behave the same and the patient gets something special, which is called nominative. So we have these two systems, ergabs and nomac, that are very, very robust and very, very useful for languages that only have divalency. We have trivalency, which means that we need an entire new category, a new set of three terms down here, that I'm looking for letters for in the Wikipedia article, because I don't know what letters are standardly used. If anyone in chat wants to give me some letters, that'd be helpful. But it looks like D, T, and P. Yeah, so we've got the donor, which is the subject, like argument in English. So this would be what you would expect in a nominative language to behave as the okay, paint, come on, work with me here. In a nominative language like English, it's what you'd expect to behave in line with the subject, and the agent. So I gave her a book versus I exist versus I hit him. The I there behaves the same. Subject, agent, and donor. The next thing is theme. Thanks, Nerdopoly. Yep, I found it in the page. Normally the distinct object of a ditransitive verb in English. So we'll stick that in the middle. We have a theme. And lastly, the recipient, which is the indirect object in English. So we're going to use an example here. We're going to set up three examples on how they're handled in English so that we can think about these in a more accessible way. So we have I run. I eat. I run. I hit him, and I gave the book to her. Okay, so if we're going to analyze these in English, here we have got this I is in the nominative in all three cases here. It is the most subject-like thing, which means that it behaves like these. Then we have a third thing, the patient. So we have our patient. which is the direct object. No, indirect object. Which of this thing here. So we've actually got him. I hit him. Now the indirect object R is the recipient. So that will be her in this. In fact, let's make this a different color. Him. The indirect object would be her. It would be I gave the book to her. Yeah. So her would be the indirect object and the book would be the direct object. So in English, the book is being handled like this. It is just on its own after the verb. And then we have a special preposition that is reminiscent of a dative marking the to her. So English sort of uses this kind of a structure. No, you should be yellow. Okay. So this is the kind of structure English uses, assuming I'm not like completely out of my mind, which is entirely possible. Let's see what this thing says. Morphosyntactical alignment between the argument of three arguments of distinctive below D, T, and R. Then these can be aligned for the agent, patient, and transitive verbs, and the subject of intransitive verbs several ways. They are not predicated by whether the language is accusative, accusative, or active. Donor is always nil. Right, so let's quickly look at ignoring how English handles things, because as we all know, English is a stupid language that does dumb things a lot of the time. No, do you want to just confirm that my labeling of how English does this is correct and I'm not completely out of my mind, as I'm assuming you're in chat? Okay, so that's a nice breakdown of our structure here. This here actually behaves like the yellow. So for reference, this is kind of our structure. And I'm going to use red, green, blue because it's actually a nicer scheme overall. Okay, so this is English's breakdown. Right now, our breakdown, as it is listed, is that for intransitive and monovalent, words do not explicitly use tone. Okay, so it's all neutral tone. So we have got some form of a marker that I'm going to do in purple that represents neutral tone. Okay, so we know that this here is in neutral tone, or default tone. It is all in low tone. Yeah, indirective P equals T. So we do... English essentially has got a line across here, a line across here, and a line across here. Actually, can you see my mouse? You can see my mouse. It also allows sort of... Okay, Nerdoply in chat. English is mostly indirective, which is where the patient is equal to the theme. But it also allows sort of secundative constructions instead of things. I gave her the book. There, I would say that's just like her is still taking the... English is a dumb language. Let's stick with the simple idea of I gave the book to her, where her takes on an almost dative form. So English here, I'm willing to call nom-ac-dat. Obviously, it's not true. Like it is just like not, but it's a reasonable way to look at this. Is we're using a nominative, an accusative, and a dative here. But the accusative is agreeing here, and the nominative is always here. Also, the interesting thing is that this here is actually the accusative form of she, rather than... Look, English is a stupid language, but, you know, we've got this general form of T equals P, which is called the indirective. Yeah, indirective here. Anyway, let's look at where we are still. So we have got this low tone S, this low tone subject. So for our divalent clauses take an agent and a patient. The agent is marked with a high tone and the patient with a neutral tone. So what we have is our patient is being marked with a did I read that correctly? The agent is marked with a high tone and the patient. So we have the patient here, which means we are currently looking more like an erg-abs language. We are not normac because we are using neutral tone for both of these and we are using a different tone for the last thing. So we've got a kind of grouping already where these two things at least appear to be linked across like that. We don't know whether R is included yet, and we don't know whether other stuff here is included. This tone is applied to only the first syllable of multi-syllable words. Yeah, okay. And then we have ditransitive. Trivalent clauses can have an agent who acts in the sentence, a patient who is acted upon, and a target that is acted towards. The agent is marked with a high tone on the final syllable. And the target is unmarked. So how have we described this? The agent is the equivalent of the D, the donor. So let's just change this word here to donor. The donor is marked with a high tone on the final syllable, which is something we've not seen before, which means this has got its own category. Cool, makes sense. And the target is unmarked. The target would be R, right? R would be unmarked. Yeah. The target is unmarked. The patient is marked with a high tone on the first syllable, where the patient was more... Oh, no, the patient would be R. No, the patient would be T, because I used completely the wrong words. Right. A theme is marked with a high tone on the first syllable, which is more like these two over here. And a target, which is the recipient, is unmarked. Well, no, that means the recipient was behaving like this, and these two are behaving the same. I'm struggling to understand my own writings from last week. This is why you don't stream for 6 hours, because you write a load of nonsense that's impossible to decipher. Alright, let's pull this thing out. Let's look at this in something that I can read. WordPad. We're gonna just blow this all up. We're gonna look at it. Right. We have monovalent. We have ditransitive. Okay. Words not explicitly use tone in monovalent sentences. The subject is marked only by the neutral tone. So we have got. We're gonna build a quick table in here. No, table. Table where? Cool. We'll use a more advanced editor then. Right. Table of like 3 by 4. Oh my god. Go one row further to the right. Cool. 1, 2, 3. These are our valency levels. That is to say the number of parameters that this thing takes. And I just want to screw alignment, we're just going to keep it right. So, then here we've got our parameters. So we've got a subject, this only has one parameter. This is going to be the subject, and this is low. Okay. Then for 2, we have got an agent, which is marked with a high 1, high first, and a patient, which is marked with a the age is marked with a high first, and patient is marked with low. Okay. And then for 3, the donor is marked with a high tone on the first syllable. The theme is marked with a high tone on the second syllable. And the recipient is marked as low. Okay. That should be clear, right? Okay. So this is our table right now. So what we have got is we have got subject, patient, and recipient. For us, are all marked as low. This is the system we have right now, which may need revising for naturalism, which was raised to me. The agent and the theme, the agent and the donor are both marked with a high first. What colours have I not used yet? Brown. And the theme is a special snowflake that acts on its own. So my question is this a reasonable system? And my guess is no, it is not. So let's see what Wikipedia has to say about systems. Do you have any? If you have any thoughts on this, nerd, I'd love to hear them, or anyone else watching. This is ergs, abs, and secundative. Okay. So secundative is D equals A, yup, and R equals P with a third case for T. Okay, so secundative. Are any secundative languages erg, abs? The fact this says ergabs almost immediately tells me yes. So my system is reasonable. We have ergab secundative. Right. Wonderful. Now we've discovered that. Semantic rules. Verbs use tones to mark valency. The valency of the sentence determine the tone patterns available to mark varying semantic rows. Topicalization is done by the backing of the topic of a sentence. The general morphosyntactic alignment of lang name is ergative. What is abs short for? Absolutive? Yo. Abs is absolutive. Why is everything a three-letter acronym? Absolutive case. Yes. Abs language. That redirects to ergabs. Okay, good. So we have absolutive. So it is ergative, absolutive, secundative. Right. Words do not explicitly use okay. The subject of a monovalent sentence is... Okay, you know what? Strip out these sentences. We can do all of this with a single diagram. Which means I need to make a diagram. I need to make a diagram. I want to make this pyramid and I want to color it nicely. What's the best way to do this? That's a great question. How horrible is Tix? Tix is pretty horrible, right? Tix is like bad. Let's learn Tix. How hard can it be? I was going to need to learn Tix eventually anyway. I could bring you guys along for this ride. If anyone knows how to use Tix in chat, I would love to. Or if there's a better package for doing this. Use package Tix. Okay. No, is it called PGF? Comes with a user-friendly syntax layer called Tix. I mean, I guess it is just, this is Tix. So I have to use package PGF, I guess. Yo, what do you have in your use package? Yeah, Tix, okay. Begin figure H. We're not including a graphic, but we are having a caption of. We're doing begin Tix picture, end Tix picture, and then this is the ergative, absolutive, secundative alignment. And the figure is going to be called ergab sec. Okay. Oh boy, how do we do this? This is all going to be about graphs, isn't it? Yeah. This is 24 pages of how to draw graphs. Alright, you know what? We're going to do it in just like Babby's image editor. I'm going to use a real image editor to do it though, not this. And by real image editor, I'm going to use HTML. That's what I'm going to do. Because I can make a nice diagram way quicker in HTML than I can in any image manipulation format. Cool. Can you be in Haml, please? Something quick to use. please pre-process with Hamel, and can you please pre-process with stylus? And then I'm not going to do any JavaScript. Cool. So we have got diagram, middle A. No, this is yeah, this should be just A. Then we have I guess layer 1A, layer 2B, layer so this should be here S, this should be a wait, this should be a class. This is dot entry S, this is dot entry A, dot entry PP, entry D, entry R, and entry PP. That, it seems, wait, DTP, not DRP. DTR, not DTP. Cool. We do diagram, flex direction on. Cool. And then we do layer. These should just be called layer. This should be entry hash S. This should be entry hash A. This should be entry hash P. Okay. Display flex. Oh wait, I'm doing diagram. Display flex. Layer. Display flex. Flex direction row. Column. Okay. Oh boy, you are SAP DTR. You need to be flex direction row, column, and then you need to be flex direction row. There we go. That's everything in the right order. Yeah, can we do like a global, just like font family sans serif font, font size 20, 50. What do they call font size? It's got a dumb name, doesn't it? It's just font size. Oh, I need to give it units. Like, give me like 5 M's, please. That's more like it. Okay. And then you are and oh, every entry should be width 100% and cool, but actually don't do width 100%, please. Do like 6M wide. Why not? Can you be like only as wide as you need to be, please? Like, what are you getting right now? Div layer, div diagram. You are getting like full width. No. You are box sizing display inline block. That should make you a lot less silly. And then I can say here width 100% without it being dumb. No? What are you now? Yeah, okay, your width 100%. Oh, yeah, these guys still need to be width 100%. Okay, there we go. Now we've got that without it being dumb. we're going to make these actually have a... can you guys take like margin 0, padding 0 for now? And can you also take margin 0, padding 0? Thanks. And now you guys are going to get margin of 1em. No, 0.2em. That's better. And cool. And hash s. Yo, stylus, how do I chain? No, stylus CSS. It's down here. Yep. Yeah, it is and. You don't like and? Oh, it doesn't like my indent here. That's fine. We'll set you to be background color red. I'm going to make these colors nicer in a second. But we're going to make you padding, not margin, so that gets bigger. Then we're going to do a gets background color distinct from red, so this gets to be green. Yo, A, you should be green, yep, and then you should be red. That's our gaps. You get to be green too. You get to be blue. And you get to be red. So this is our structure. Okay, what I kind of want to do is I want to make it a bit wider. Yeah. Can you be like not this small? Can we be like a forced slightly higher width? So because at the moment we're sizing based on the bottom row, which means it looks like it's really kind of ifily spaced. Let's make you square actually. How high are you? You're gonna be, make you a fixed height, tall and wide, but like how tall are you right now? Because this is a reasonable height. You are currently 375 pixels high. Cool, let's make it, just fix it at that. Width 375 pixels, height 375 pixels. Okay, so now the whole thing's a square. Right, let's make the colors not suck. We'll use the same color scheme as we use in the actual document, which is I steal wholeheartedly from Google, because Google has some incredibly pretty colors. So we are going to steal Google's nice light red. Let me define a variable, which is called a variable. Cool. Red is this. Yes, that looks nice already. However, we also should just do color white. Yeah. A is green. We will steal their green. It's a really nice shade of green. I'm a big fan of it. Green is equal to this, and blue is equal to Okay, this gives us a nice diagram to stick in our document. Okay, so now I want to actually just blow this up to be way bigger. What's the best way of doing this? I need to scale the whole thing up. So let's just actually do font size like 20 EM. That breaks things. Oh yeah, it's the width settings. Huh. Okay, you know what I'll do? I know what I'll do. No. We don't actually need it to be this big. Let's see how big it is right now. Because what I actually want to do is grab the diagram U and take an image of this. Hello? Hello? Are you there? Hello? Screenshot node? Okay. That's fun. In that case, let me go full screen. Do you exist? If I save you, do you exist? You do exist. Full page. You are what I want. Okay, and now let's just zoom in on this, and I will do it manually because apparently we are not allowed to have fun. Boom, and you get to be saved. We will save you as absec, and then we will upload here. Absec. Can you be in like the images folder though, not in the glosses folder? Okay, and then here we're going to just use graphics images absec. Okay, is this wider or less wide than the text width? No? We don't have oh, it's include graphics. I probably don't have graphic X in here, do I? No, yeah. No, it worked. Something else brought in graphic X and didn't do it in a way that it didn't leak the namespacing. That means one of these packages is bad. Or it's in the prelude for whatever this is using, which should just be a LaTeX, which I know doesn't have it in its prelude. So that would be weird. Yeah, you are the world's largest diagram, which is not what we want. We want you to be a lot smaller than that. So let's do that. You get to be width equals 0.5 text width. That should do it for that. Not being the world's largest thing. Oh, we're still an overfull H box. That is not true. Why are you... Because I set that on the caption, not on the image for some reason. So we are absec is our morphosyntactic alignment. Yeah. Okay, and then we're going to say, I need to give a key here. Red. This is graphically shown in fig gab sec, where red is a low tone, green is a high initial tone, and blue is a high final tone. Okay, that should be a lot more accessible than the utter load of crap that was there before. I don't like that this is being positioned where it is, though. I kind of wish it would bump the whole section down. It's alright for now. We'll come back to fix it later. I also don't like topicalization is where it is. It should just be... It should be after the... Actually, it should be after the table. In fact, you know what? You don't need to float. Go wherever you want to go. I'll let LaTeX figure that out, and I'll float it later if I need to. Okay. Let's just check our recording is working. Yep, recording looks to be working fine. Cool. Right, I'm gonna actually grab that the markup for that in case I decide I need to do anything with it. So the markup for that is... Oh, hello, Sasha.
Indeed.
Hey, you've now learned how to not use text by using HTML instead when you're lazy.
What?
Have you been watching the stream, or are you just coming in?
I have literally just entered my room,
Oh.
started up my computer. I haven't even opened your stream yet.
Oh, wow. That's so rude. Why do you not watch me every time I start streaming?
Because I wasn't on a train
So
with limited data.
we've established that Kepe is ergative, absolutive, secundative in its alignment. And I wanted to make an alignment chart for that, but I didn't want to faff around learning ticks to make a graphic.
I see the thing.
So I just did some HTML instead.
I would offer to just write in text, but I'd actually have to read up as well, so...
Yeah, I was
sorry.
like, I can't be bothered to learn how to do this, and ticks looks difficult, so...
I have done stuff, like, trivial stuff with ticks.
Yeah.
It's... At least when it's, like, very easy, just line drawing, it's, like, actually just easy.
That's an overview of the code that I used to generate it. So I don't think you can beat that for convenience. Like, that's pretty small for doing what I needed to do. Okay, so. Oh boy. You have floated all the way down here though, which is bad. Or like all the way up here. All the way up. No, down here. Someone teach LaTeX how to float tables sensibly.
It's called H.
Yeah, that's what I had it as. I took it away because it was putting in an annoying page break and I was hoping it would figure out something nicer. It did not figure out something nicer.
You can restrict where exactly, like, you're allowed to put it, though.
Yeah, I want it to be like... What I actually want it to do is just have more space on this page. So, like, I want to make... You know what? If I replace the plural dual section with a diagram instead of the examples I've got... today my goal is to rewrite and to give crap about naturalism. So verifying that my basically randomly selected morphosyntactic alignment was something reasonable, and ergab sec is apparently a thing that exists, considering the very first Wikipedia example on the secundative language page is an ergabs language. So
there's actually like a pretty decent like survey PDF floating around on the internet.
It's
that shows
West Greenlandic. Weren't you into that for a while?
Yeah, but not enough to figure that stuff out.
West, I remember you were like talking about Greenlandic.
Yeah, I was
for
reading
a
a
while.
grammar on it. It's like a really neat language.
Huh. Yeah. How's your day been anyway? Taken
Well, it
aside
was
from
work.
the. Yeah, that's fair to be honest.
Today, someone fell.
Oh, that's not good.
That is really not good indeed. She's hospitalized now.
Oh crap. Well,
I do like how like nonchalant the ambulance guys were though. Like they're like, okay, so she's probably got a fracture. We don't know yet though. Like we have to send her to the hospital to get like X-rayed, you know.
yeah.
So she's in pain if you try to move her at all, and just lying there on the side. We can't transport her like that. Let's send her traveling.
Yeah.
And there comes the infusion.
That's fair. Have I? So I'm also not only am I today just to bring us back to the stream. As great as your story is, I appreciate the stories of your day. My day, I went out to have a meal with my family and slept a lot. That's like it so far.
That's a pretty good day, to be honest.
So, words. I obviously have a valency system in this language. Have I told you how I'm doing the what's the word? Comparatives yet?
I mean, we touched on it in the last call, but I don't recall it.
So I decided, talking to Klaus a lot more, that I was going to have adjectives behave as verbs in the way Chinese does.
Yeah.
Where the valency of it determined its form. So a monovalent form would be like I'm strong. A divalent form would be I'm stronger than you.
Yeah, so like I strong you, basically.
And I came out with a really nice one for its trivalent form, which obviously isn't needed because like most of these verbs aren't going to have avalent forms, but its trivalent form could be I am stronger to you as you are stronger than the final parameter. Which can give some really nice idiomatic like expressions. So like I am taller than you are taller than flatbread. Now, your height is to the height of some flatbread what the height is your height is to me. And so I can get some really fun like idiomatic expressions out of the trivalent form of it. And that's like where I left off on that. But also this language is really dumb, reading back over it. Like, this is a horrible language, I love it.
Meanwhile, I messed up somewhere. Where did I forget a close bracket or something?
You're just the font being mid. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is... I want to do some rewrites to make this grammar section clearer. So, there are no longer 3 grammatical categories, there are 2 grammatical categories.
Okay, seriously, where the fuck did I mess up? Alright. Please recompile so I can actually see the error. Undefined control sequence. Where is the undefined control sequence? That's at least an error I know. Oh, there it is. Yeah. That is indeed an undefined control sequence.
Words, adjectives.
It's GL for gloss and not gen for, I don't know, genitive.
Okay.
There.
So I've said there are 2 grammatical categories in a lang name. These are nouns and verbs, adwords, adjectives, adverbs, behave as verbs. Okay. Nouns. Plurality and duality are marked by rhoticization of vowels. If a word is singular, it takes no rhoticization on its vowels. If it is dual, then the final vowel of the word stem is rhoticized. If it is plural, then the first initial, I want to use instead of first, vowel on the word stem is rhoticized. One-syllable words show only singular plural distinction. If a vowel is a diphthong, no distinction is made there. Only the word there. And we have the words "xie," adult man of caste 4. I'm just going to change that to adult man. I'm not going to... The caste system is encoded in so much of this language that I don't think we need it in the different words for men. Because that would already be implicit from how you'd conjugated the verb.
Yeah, so I was looking through my... example sentences to see whether I've actually done everything. Are you looking at Discord or at Twitch more?
I have both open equally. Like, I've got split screen up.
Discord has previews.
Yeah.
There. I found this one. I feel like I have to do something here.
Okay, you are not in my chat. You are in speedlang or half convo.
Oh shit, I wasn't speedlang, but
You're
I was...
in speedlanging. That's out of context. Let me bring this image up on stream. Please open in the correct web browser. That is not the right web browser. That is my Twitch web browser. Okay, what are we looking at here, Sasha?
Just an image.
Yeah, IPA here.
I thought I was done with the things. I guess I was tired yesterday.
Ye so low amofa olu kane ane nele.
It's not even close.
Isopilu. That's exactly how your language is pronounced.
Hey, so wait, why is that acute on the L?
Yeah, why have you got a tone on an L? It's this syllabic L that takes a tone.
How the fuck did it even end up there?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess by me typing it there.
Yeah, by you being wrong is the answer. So hold on. Durch Ösur, and durch Ösur. Yep, okay, that works. That seems fine. These are reasonable examples.
No, that doesn't seem fine at all.
What I just read?
Did you hear yourself?
Yeah, we've got durch Ösur for one flatbread, durch Ösur for two flatbreads, and durch Ösur for many flatbreads.
These are some ugly vowels. You should get those vowels fixed.
I mean, it's literally a 4-vowel system, so say it anywhere in the vicinity of U, and you're fine.
I think that's how 4-vowel systems work.
I mean, you've got a lot of leeway for accents and stuff. You know? You got things in the vicinity of U, things in the vicinity of E, things in the vicinity of E, and things in the vicinity of O. Those are, you know, it's a 4-vowel system.
I'm still not convinced that that's how those work.
I mean, fair, but like, there's a huge amount of variation in where people actually say vowels, so you've got a lot of leeway with vowels regardless of your system. I love watching the number randomly flicker up to like 5 or 6 viewers and then jump back down to 4, which I assume is just someone finding this randomly in the bottom of the list of things streaming to creative and being like, no, this is why are we looking at a PDF? This isn't an art stream. This person isn't painting something. I'm a big fan of That is a horrible word, and I love it. I keep seeing it, and I'm like, yes, this word. This is the pinnacle of me and conlanging. Okay.
I mean, I just wrote down the IPA afterward. Wait.
Where you put it this time?
Nowhere.
Okay.
I just wrote it down in my thingy.
Yeah.
Like, the third word in the image, which is spelled amorpha.
Yeah.
That's amorpha.
Yeah.
This language is not silly.
Yep, this is entirely sensible language. Okay. Verbs use tone to mark valency. The following rules are used for the number of the valency. 0 is no tone marking on its first syllable high tone. Append ko if not enough syllables. 2 is first syllable high tone. Okay, final and first are the same word. I need to make those not both start with fi. Right. Final, initial, and final. Syllable high tone. Append may if not enough syllables. Polypersonal agreement. Verbs mark polypersonal agreement. Yeah, I had this table of cho, oi, Hos, hoif, t, a, l, oi,
You know, they might have actually also joined the stream and
ooh.
thought you weren't speaking English.
And yeah, that's also believable. I have set the stream language to English, so there's no
Yeah,
there's
maybe
no
you
other.
can't read the interface because you don't speak English.
Maybe I don't speak English. Oh my god. One day, Sasha, we're gonna figure that out. We'll make that language work again. Okay, so these at the moment I'm doing these weird 1, 2, 3s in my system here. I want to restructure these so that I can have a nicer setup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a new macro. So where's my prelude here? We're going to do...
I also now have the word isopl,
yes,
which has a p affricate.
Nice. Oh, I forget how you do optional stuff in tech macros.
How you include them, I don't know either.
No, how you do it. So if you leave something blank, you do something different. Like you only include something if a value is filled.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, I have enabled multiple versions of Reddit enhancement suits, 560 and 560.
That's good job, yeah.
Let's figure that one out.
It is.
Oops, no, I don't want to remove. It's gonna be.
Okay, so we need to do a make hat letter, make hat other block. That's not surprising. You need those for pretty much everything complicated. Make hat letter, make hat other. Okay. And then it's, you set up a temporary variable. That is reasonable. Yep, and then you check against that. Okay, that makes sense.
Why is the Reddit front page now called home and not front?
Reddit don't understand what makes Reddit good, which is why we're having to do a blackout soon.
About a blackout using CSS that wouldn't work anymore once the CSS is gone?
No, we're going private. That's what the last one was.
Oh.
You just set the subreddit to private until Reddit stops being retarded. This is the obvious thing that's going to happen. Like, unless Reddit backs off seriously, the second they double down, it's just going to be every subreddit goes private. And they're going to be like, oh, shit, we didn't think this one through, did we? Okay, where are we going? We're going... If that not... Okay, cool. Let's do this so that it's how we want it to look regularly first. So we've got 4 levels of valency. And I want to do 0 is... I want to split it in, like...
Now, I had an idea recently, which I'm curious about whether that would actually be a good thing for Reddit. So, assume a post has, like, not been interacted with for a long time because it's kind of fallen off the front page, you know. Like, it's 2 months old, no one knows it exists anymore. Somebody finds it by accident and upvotes it. What if that upvote was weighted a lot so that it would occur on the front page again for a short time? So basically as if you reposted it without actually reposting.
That would be kind of like the way forums do bumping. And I actually think the way Reddit handles it is like nicer than that, in that bumping often means that sometimes threads get necroed, which is like not good because necroing is just annoying.
The alternative to necroing is reposting it, so...
Yeah, but I think a repost... What Reddit should actually have is a way for you to repost easier.
fair, but I mean, like, reviving a thread also revives all the comments that were already made on it, which might be something you want.